students from Chessbrook PRU. How is everyone doing? All good?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. How are you feeling for Christmas?
Good.
Good. We actually spoke just before this actually about what you have planned for Christmas. So I want to tell you what you're doing for Christmas this year.
I'm going to Caravan Park.
Caravan Park. Brilliant. Where do you normally go for your... Do you normally go on caravan parks or is this your first
Yeah.
time? Where do you normally go for it? Like what kind of areas do you go to normally?
It's normally in Poole.
Pool. Brilliant. Do you enjoy it there?
Yeah.
Do you normally go once a year or like more than once a year? How does it normally work?
It normally goes about twice a year.
Twice a year. What kind of things do you do at a caravan park? What kind of things do you do? Just like meet other people? Are there games to do there or how does it normally work?
Yeah, well, it's like an entertainment at night time where you go there and like you just like play around and stuff.
Really? That's amazing. You really enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So this edition is all about, once again, learning outside the classroom. So I want to start off by asking this question here. It might be, a bit of a silly question, but for you guys, what does learning outside the classroom mean to you?
For us, like going outside the classroom and learning other stuff apart from going to school.
Yeah. And how do you think it again, it might be a silly question, but how do you think it differs from like a traditional classroom? When you're learning outside the classroom, how does it differ from that?
Probably because like it's actually more like peaceful.
It's more peaceful for you. And do you think do you kind of like learn better by that way, like learn outside the classroom? Do you learn better that way, do you think? Or do you prefer learning kind of in your own time or in a classroom? How do you work best when you learn?
I probably like learning outside the classroom best.
Yeah? I do want to talk about a few bits actually. Just before the podcast started, we spoke about one of the things you did actually, a nuclear bunker, didn't we?
Yeah.
How was that? Let's talk about that then. So how was that for you?
Very good.
Really good. Can you explain how the whole day went then? Like the whole experience of going there, walking down into the bunker. Can you explain how that happened for you? What was that experience like for you?
Oh yeah, well basically first things first we had to go through like a house and then we had to go like down. It was very like hidden, so even if like someone did go in and they wouldn't really notice. And like when like we then ended up going out, it was like very hidden and like if a bomb ended up dropping, nothing would really happen to it.
Yeah.
And like inside of it was very like calm and peaceful and like there was also like a couple of like food that only lasts about 3 months.
Yeah. 'Cause I was shocked about that, about how big it was inside. I mean, what was your kind of like thoughts like going into it? Like, were they different to how you expected it to be, like before and after? So, before you actually went into the bunker, what were your thoughts before going in there? What were your thoughts like? Do you think it would be small, or what were your kind of thoughts beforehand?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be pretty like smallish, not that big, but it turns out it was actually pretty big.
Yeah. I heard there was 4 floors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned there was 3 months of supplies of like electricity and lights and stuff, right? Yeah. Did you ever at any point feel quite claustrophobic, or because you're so big inside it, you feel okay?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't that claustrophobic. There are some times where it was quite claustrophobic, but not that many times.
How long did you spend down there? Was it the whole day or just for a little while?
It was about 2-3 hours.
Oh, 2-3 hours. Wow. And what other kind of things did you learn whilst you were there as well? Did you have like a tour guide or?
Yeah, it's kind of like a tourist guide, something like that.
Okay. What were the kind of like more shocking things you learned about the whole day then, or like things that really surprised you?
Well, probably like, genuinely just how big it was. And also, like trying to like learn about it and like how like it was protected and stuff like that.
That's amazing. And are you able to share how it was protected actually? Are you able to share that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, basically, like, it was like a massive bunker, and, like, you would just go underground when, like, a bomb was going off, you'd, like, have to go, like, down to, like, the bottom floor, and when it actually hit off, like, the entire thing was protected, and the only thing that would happen, like, the walls would start shaking, but nothing actually would happen to, like, the actual bunker.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's crazy. And I heard as well, I saw some pictures before we started, like, the BBC Studios was down there too, right? Yeah. Did you get to like try a few things that while you're down there too, or just have a little look? Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like having a little look and also like trying on a bunch of costumes.
Really? What kind of costume did you wear?
Oh, I was wearing like a police outfit.
Oh, really? Nice. And a quick question actually about that kind of thing. Now, why do you think it's so important to learn outside the classroom sometimes?
I was like, it's important like learn like what happened back in the day.
Yeah.
Like learning other than going in classrooms and stuff. And also like learning basically.
What kind of other trips have you been on, like learning outside? I know that from the school that you go to, they do a lot of this kind of thing. In your time at Chessbrook, like, what other places have you gone to that you visited? Like, what other kind of, like, what's been some of your favourite places that you've gone to? I heard like farming as well that you do.
Yeah.
How do you find that, the farming?
Good.
Yeah? Again, let's talk about that actually real quickly. Like, what kind of things have you learned about farming then?
Very interesting. Like we learned about like a bunch of like how to cut trees, how to like manage farms, stuff like that.
Really? I bet it's a lot harder than you thought it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how was the cutting trees down thing for you there? Was it like big trees, smaller ones?
They're about smallish. We couldn't really like cut down the big ones, so we were using like saws and stuff.
Really? Were you like completely exhausted afterwards then?
Yeah.
I bet you were. I mean, how often do you get a chance to kind of learn outside the class? Is it like once a month, every week, every other week?
It's every Friday.
Every Friday. Brilliant. What have been some of your kind of highlights that you've kind of had a chance to visit?
Ooh, we went to Chelsea Football Club Stadium tour.
No way. How was that for you?
Very good.
Was it really good?
Yeah.
Are you a massive football fan?
Yep.
Are you? Because Chelsea supporter?
Yep.
Are you?
Yeah.
Was that your first time there?
Yep.
Was it? So did you get like, did you guys go to a game there or to a box?
It was kind of like a stadium tourish because like we went around like all the stadiums and like had a look at the pitch and stuff.
Really? How was that for you? Like being a Chelsea supporter as well. How was that experience? Like going to the stadium, having a little tour of it. How was that for you?
Oh, it was very good.
Was it?
Yeah.
Would you like to go back one day?
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. What do you think of Chelsea so far this season?
They're doing alright-ish.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who's your favourite player at the moment?
Ooh. Very hard. Probably Cole Palmer.
Yeah, amazing, isn't he? He's killing it at the moment.
Yeah.
And through all your kind of experience stuff, like kind of going out to like the farms and bunkers in Chelsea Stadium and so forth, through all the experience, have you learned like a new skill or a new passion since doing these things?
Oh, I've learned how to cut down trees, and that's probably going to be like pretty good.
Really? Has that kind of like given you like a new passion for something in the future? Maybe I like to go through this or through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you kind of? I know it's like quite a hard question to answer, but a lot of young people don't always know what they want to work toward. It's completely understandable. For yourself, though, have you kind of found what you love doing in terms of just anything like hobbies or maybe in a career down the line?
Sort of, yeah. It's still pretty hard for me to decide-ish.
Yeah. What are the kind of things that you really enjoy doing at the moment?
Probably like watching football.
Nice. And in terms of like maybe that as a career down that way, would you like to become a footballer yourself or somehow get involved with football somehow or sports in general?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah? Have you had a chance to maybe like, do some of your own research into this kind of thing as well, like how to become this or what's involved with that?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah? Like what kind of things do you do? Like do you like read books, do you watch like YouTube or TikTok to like learn how to do things as well? Like, how do you learn outside of a classroom or when you're not in school, for instance? What are the kind of things that you do to, learn? Do you watch videos? Do you read books? Listen to podcasts?
Yeah, I normally like watch YouTube videos.
Do you? Do you have any like favorite channels that you end up watching like that to really learn as much as you can?
I like watching Ali A.
Do you? Who's Ali A? I never heard of. I don't think I've heard of Ali A before.
Oh yeah, it's like a gaming YouTuber, stuff things like that.
Oh, fair enough. Is that do you do that kind of thing as well, like gaming as well?
Yeah.
Do you? What's your like current game at the moment? Do you stream as well? Or
No,
just
not
this
yet.
game, right?
Yeah.
What are you currently playing at the moment?
Ooh. I mean, I haven't like gamed in quite a long time. I used to play Fortnite quite a lot.
Did you? Fortnite's one game I haven't actually played yet. I know the whole world's going mad or has been going mad over it. But has it been like one of your favourite games to play at the moment? Like multiplayer, I mean, it's mad. And in terms of learning outside the classroom too, do you think that a lot more schools should be doing what you're doing at the moment? Because I think what you're doing at the moment with Chessbrook is amazing, where you're seeing all these amazing things. Do you think a lot more schools should be doing this kind of thing, like going out and learning outside the classroom? Do you think?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
definitely should.
Brilliant. I mean, if you had the chance to kind of plan your own kind of event or learn outside the classroom, how would you kind of do it? Do you think, or what kind of things would you like to work towards?
I'm not really sure. Probably like do some like stuff that everyone likes.
Yeah. And how would you kind of learn about that? Would you do like research development? Would you ask people? Would you put like polls out? How would you think you would kind of find out what other people like? Would you talk to people or?
Yeah, probably just talk to people about it.
Nice. And then trying to plan according to that, right?
Yep.
Brilliant. And What advice would you kind of give other students for this kind of learning? Like, would you like say like just go for it? Would you like go outside and learn more? What kind of advice would you give to other students about learning outside the classroom?
Yeah, I'd probably just say like put in your effort and like stuff like that. It's very like fascinating at sometimes. 'Cause, like you
Yeah.
get to do a bunch of like stuff you wouldn't normally do. in
Exactly.
school.
Like that's like the perfect little segue, right? Like, how do you think like learning outside the classroom prepares you guys for real life situations? Do you think?
Uh, it probably like prepares us like for anything basically. Like if like something happened, you would know what to do.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of life skills have you learned since doing these kind of events? I mean, you mentioned about that thing like cutting trees and farming and stadium tours is amazing, and obviously the
Yeah.
3 months nuclear kind of supplies they've got for you. What kind of life skills have you learned since doing these kind of things? Do you think
Probably like how to cut down trees safely.
safely? Yeah. So it's our safety things, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant. And do you now feel more kind of independent now and confident since doing these things as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And I, we, do you feel like you're kind of like maybe pretty quiet beforehand? You feel more confident now, or just
Yeah,
you're always quite
probably.
confident, but then
Yeah.
this has made you even more confident now? Brilliant. And would you say to other students like, just go for it and do it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. And in terms of things like teamwork as well, do you find teamwork quite easy to do, or do you find it quite hard and do you prefer learning by yourself?
Sometimes quite easy / hard. But sometimes it really like depends on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be easy. Sometimes it just can be a little bit harder.
Yeah, I mean, how important do you think teamwork is for these kind of things? Like, not just like how the classroom, but like life in general. How important do you think teamwork actually is?
Pretty important. Really depends like what you're doing. If like trying to like do some stuff like you need like more people to do, then I suggest teamwork probably a good idea.
Exactly. Like, what kind of things do you think would be beneficial from teamwork? Do you think like what kind of things would be really helpful for you in terms of teamwork?
Oh, probably like try and go up ladders.
Yeah, that kind of thing, right? And how about things like, well, like say you have a strength in something or a weakness in something, but then someone in your team could help you out with something else that they're stronger.
Yeah.
How about those kind of things as well?
There's a bunch of stuff you can do that for. Like playing games. Sometimes like that helps.
Yeah. Like, what kind of games have you learned, like played, that you've learned from teamwork? Like, I think like football or even Fortnite maybe. Yeah. Have you learned that from teamwork from that as well?
Yeah.
Amazing. And have you actually learned from your team, like whenever you have been in a team, like say it could be Fortnite or cutting down trees or whatever, have you learned from your team about different things we like? They've maybe shown you different ways of doing things that you never thought about before.
Yeah.
Have you learned quite a lot? Yeah, what kind of things have really stood out for you in terms of what you've learned so far from teamwork?
Probably like in like Fortnite, just don't rush people, like for your team, stuff like that.
Yeah. And has that been like one of the best lessons you've learned, do you think? Like they got your back, you got their back, and that
Yeah.
kind of thing, right? That's actually amazing. And when you do like complete, say, a big task in like outside the class and wherever it might be, how good do you feel once you like complete like a big task for something?
Happy, proud.
Yeah. Like when you're kind of approaching like a big task, for instance, whether it's like cutting down trees or just something like maybe different from that, just a general big task. What's your kind of like mindset going into that? Do you feel quite nervous or scared, or do you feel okay? Like,
I
no, I'm
feel
just gonna go for it and just do it.
Yeah, I normally feel okay about it. Just like do it. There's not much to fear for, to be honest.
That's amazing. Like, and what would you kind of tell teachers who might want to start incorporating this into their schools? You mentioned about students earlier. How about teachers? What would you tell teachers who might want to do this in their school or just helping other people out?
Probably like teachers like introducing to like their classrooms and stuff like that.
Yeah, just go for it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. And I want to ask like, a few more questions. I'll take a little break as well. But I was told that you're doing wooden Christmas trees for charity.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's that getting on for you?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? What inspired you to kind of make wooden trees for charity this year?
Very good. I like just do it and like get on with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, like what inspired you to kind of get into it? Was it like through a friend or school
Probably school.
or school? Yeah. Like, How did they kind of give you the idea of doing it, or did they like were you like talking about ideas that they came up with this? How did it all come about?
Yeah, probably like they just planned it and stuff.
Brilliant.
Hmm.
And like, what is like the process then? Or for those that might want to be doing this as well for Christmas or just in general, what's the process of making the Christmas trees like? What's the process of the whole thing?
It's pretty complicated as such. Like you have to like carve out all the woods and like well, we didn't like have to carve out the wood. We had to like just like place it together, put a bunch of screws in, and kind of make it like a Christmas tree.
Really?
Hmm.
Like, what's the kind of the average kind of time that it takes to make just one Christmas tree? Because a lot of people don't always appreciate or see what goes on behind the scenes, right? So these, for those that are interested or want to learn about this kind of thing, what's that like kind of like average time it takes you guys to make, say one tree or a bunch of trees?
Well, since we didn't have to like carve out the stuff, we only had to like put it in and like measure it out and stuff like that.
Oh,
It probably
really?
only took me about like 5 minutes.
Well, per tree, right?
Yeah.
And did you have to like work towards that 5 minutes, or was like had it always been like, okay, measure it, cut it, done?
Yeah,
Would it-
honestly, I'm pretty quick worker to be honest.
Love
So it only
that.
took me about 5 minutes. It took like the others like 10, 20 minutes.
Oh, really? So you
Yeah.
found like for yourself, like you're good with that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So you can just like work it out straight away and just
Yep.
do it, right?
Mhm.
And is it like a really hard thing for you guys to work towards as well? Like maybe laborious and hard, or do you find it quite easy to work towards?
I find it quite easy. Some other people might find it a bit hard.
That's amazing. So we actually spoke about like for yourself, you find it kind of quite easy, right, to like work things out, right? But when it comes to like teamwork and that kind of thing, right, what kind of challenges have you kind of experienced either yourself or in the team work when it comes to doing the Christmas trees?
Yeah.
What kind of like, challenges have you encountered so far?
Well, there's not that many challenges about it. Generally like probably like making it a little bit, and like sometimes like putting the screws can be a little bit challenging.
Really?
But yeah, but it's normally only like the side screws. All the rest of them pretty easy, and like all you have to do is get like the hang of it, and it should be pretty damn easy.
Nice. And what kind of skills do you think you've kind of learnt since doing this kind of thing, actually?
I probably like learning like skills like putting it in, and like if something happened in your house, you know what to do.
Okay, so like for the future, when like you get your own house, your own place, you get your own Christmas tree, like do that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. And how did you find working in a team when doing this kind of thing? Did you find it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there quite a big team of you working towards each tree, or is it like fairly small groups that you're working towards?
Yeah, we normally work in singles.
Singles, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so there's not that much teamwork involved, or is there?
There's a little bit of it. It's like at the start of it, we did need a little bit of teamwork, but like gradually over on, we didn't need as much teamwork.
Oh, fair enough. Were all of you like kind of assigned your own role within this kind of thing? As well, like, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, X, Y, and Z is going to do this, or were you just kind of pick and choose your own roles?
Yeah, we just normally pick and choose our own roles.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
what did you choose in the actual?
I was like doing like the main roles, and like actually like try and build it, like,
Nice.
cutting down the trees and stuff.
Love that. And which charity did you guys decide to donate to this year? And yeah, so what charity did you decide to support and why?
Can't actually remember about that.
Say that again, sorry?
I can't actually remember.
You can't remember?
No.
No worries. And if okay, actually, how much money have you raised? It's the 13th of December as of this moment, right? How much money have you raised so far for charity?
I'm pretty sure something's like over £100.
No way. That's honestly incredible. And how do you feel about raising so much money so far for charity?
Oh, good.
Do you feel good, yeah? Does it make you feel really good afterwards?
Yeah.
That's amazing. And what kind of impact do you think this project will have on a community or the charity that you picked?
It'll like increase their like chances of like being happy and stuff.
Yeah, brilliant. And how did people in your community react to this project?
I loved it.
They loved it, yeah? Brilliant. Do you get a chance to talk to a lot of people actually outside of school, like say, look, we're doing this at the moment, or?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and do you get the chance to kind of interact with people that might be buying the trees as well? Have a little chance to have a conversation with them at all?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay. And what was the most kind of rewarding part of this whole experience so far, do you think?
I feel like we've got a Christmas tree for completely free.
Really?
And like learning a bunch of like skills and how to put Christmas trees together.
Yeah. Come in, sir.
Good morning.
So let's talk about it, sir. So how much were you able to raise for charity this year?
So what the lads did really well, actually, they kind of planned, and we did a bit of a compromise, didn't we, on price? Because I think the original price that was talked about from Wood Oaks was, I think, £25 a tree. And we got them down to, what was it? Remember?
10.
We got down to 10 in the end, didn't we? Yeah. How much did we sell the trees for? You remember?
I think 20 or 15.
Yeah, we went for 20 and 50, and then, like said, we actually went down to £10 per tree. So we went back to the staff.
Yeah.
And we said, right, we've got these lovely trees for sale that the boys had made, and they did a great job, actually. And we had probably, I would say, 5 or 6 staff that were going to purchase them at £20. And then the next week we went back and said, actually, it can be £10. So we decided to sell them at £10.
Why did you chop
So I've just chucked a bottle of Coke at Danny to wake him up. An empty one though. So when we did that, we actually ended up selling, I think, 23 trees.
Really?
So in the end, the trees cost to make about £2.50.
Wow.
So we actually donated around about £200 back to Wood Oaks.
Really?
For charity, yeah. So it was really, really good, and they did. And whilst we've got a bit tired at the moment, he worked very, very hard, and as did Scott and
That's amazing.
who's not here today as well. But they were fantastic. So yeah, and in actual fact, we made 29 trees, but we took, I think, 2 or 3 back for school for display, and then they all took a tree home as well. For themselves, and then the other 23 went to the members of staff. So yeah, over £200 made for charity, which
That's
is
amazing.
great. That's really helped them. They've appreciated that.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we've got a fantastic relationship with them. So we're actually off back at the end of January through to March for a different project. We're not going to make Christmas trees, but a different project with some volunteering, and I think we're actually going to do a project about hedgehogs. Actually,
Really?
protecting hedgehogs and making hedgehog boxes for them and so on, and a bit more horticultural stuff. And
Love
so
that.
yeah, so another good opportunity for the lads. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Actually, saying that, I led on to a different question actually about the bargaining thing. Then, so how do you find bargaining with people then, like bringing it from like 25 quid to down to like a tenner? You said, yeah. How do you find that whole bargaining thing then?
Pretty good.
Do you find it quite easy, quite hard? How did you find that whole chatting with people, like trying to bring down the price for you?
Pretty easy. We didn't have to like do much about it.
Oh,
It meant
really?
just like teachers.
Very nice.
It was when you put Ted in the headlock that he finally said yes, didn't he?
Yeah.
Some WWE stuff going on.
Yeah.
No, we did, but we talked about the cost, didn't we?
Mhm.
You remember what the materials were? What do we use to build the trees?
Wood.
And what else?
Screws.
Yeah, and what other things did we use which cost? Because Ted, by the way, so you need to explain, Ted was the person that was helping to create, and he was teaching us these lovely carpentry skills and how to work with different materials and also a piece of equipment. I won't give the piece of equipment away, but what were the equipment?
Drills.
Drills, yeah. Was there a cost to that?
About £200.
Yeah.
Really?
So he was explaining that he had somebody work with him that actually broke about 7 drill bits.
7?
Yeah, and now the lads didn't break any, which is fantastic. So they really took good care of them. But he was saying there's a cost to that as well. There's a cost to the wood. What else was the cost of?
The drills, the screws.
The screws, yeah. What else did he have to do?
Cut it.
Yeah, so he cut it down for us. He actually went to places like B&Q to go and buy what was really old wooden material that they were actually going to get rid of or they couldn't sell. So he would buy lots and lots of timber. Do you remember how much he was buying the timber for?
It was like 50p.
Yeah.
50p for timber?
Really amazing. So he had a really good way of actually sourcing materials that either wasn't any of use to anybody, which, the lads managed to, if you like, upcycle and then create something lovely. And it was brilliant. So there's a lot of preparation that Ted put into it. But yeah, you learned so much, didn't you? Remember the kind of tools that you were using?
It's more like just drills and stuff.
What else?
And
you used something at the end which could have been potentially quite dangerous, but you really took your care and time with it. What were you using at the end?
Wasn't like a saw thing.
Yeah.
You'd love that.
He actually ended up using a really, really powerful saw.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it quite scary to use that?
Not really. It wasn't even that heavy. I mean, I'm pretty strong, so yeah. I can
Yeah, I
use
bet.
it. Yeah.
Like, what, you know, all these things that you had to obviously buy for the whole, process. Was it a lot more expensive than you thought it would be, or a bit cheaper than you thought it would be? Like, how, like the drills, the saws, the wood, this and that. Was it a lot more expensive than you thought it would be, or cheaper than you thought it would be?
Well, the wood was a bit cheaper,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the drills, like I thought, it only cost maybe like £100 max. But when I heard that like over £200, that was pretty crazy.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like when you see price, does that make you like appreciate things a lot more, like how expensive things are, and like maybe like just maybe running a house or a business, now that these things aren't cheap. You need to buy a lot of things, then sometimes repair them too, which cost extra money. Then the bills. Does it as a life skill now? Do you kind of appreciate what goes on behind the scenes now as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's hard, isn't it? Like when we're growing up, we don't always see the behind the scenes stuff, do we? Of like how much this costs or how much that costs or the running bills, this and that. But now that you've run your own little business now, you know that the drill costs 200 quid, that costs a tenner, that costs 50 quid. Like I must be like a couple of grand now before we even get started. So, do you have that kind of appreciation now of that kind of business side of things behind the scenes now? Yeah, brilliant.
I think even when Ted laid out all the materials for us, and he worked out what it is per wood screw. Because you need special types of screws as well, don't you? I think what I learned is that you can't just put any old screw or piece of material into wood. It doesn't work. It will split the wood, and you have to then prepare the wood, because we had to use a special type of drill before we actually went in to the screw, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've learned a lot from that, but then when we worked out the actual total cost with the wood and the piece of wood, it was about £2.50, wasn't it? But then there's obviously some profit to be made. So it's really useful with, like you say, having a look at your materials, how much it costs, how much profit you want to make, and what was reasonable to the customer. And the customers in this case were the teachers. So being able to have those conversations and I suppose some kind of compromise in between, giving benefit, because we wanted to make sure that Wood Oaks were looked after. We've got such a lovely relationship with them. We wanted to make sure that they were looked after in terms of what we give back to them as a donation. So they're not going to make any profit, but it's a donation, and that they can work with other schools and so on, and maybe with us in the future. So it's really important to get the balance right. So actually, we were looking to give back, if you like, £7.50, wasn't it, per tree in the donation. And the teachers were so happy, weren't they? Do you remember what the teachers are doing?
No.
You remember? Well, have a look at what does the tree look like at reception now?
Oh yeah, it's like a bunch of decorations and stuff.
Yeah, so all our colleagues have decorated the tree. I've painted mine, put lights on them, and they're going to actually make a display. So they're actually quite proud as well. So you get, one of our school values is courage, pride, resilience. There's a lot of pride in making them, but there's also that when they receive the trees and actually what they do then further with them. So the staff have received them and then they've decorated themselves and they've had this pride. So it's absolutely lovely to see that.
That's amazing.
It was a really good experience, wasn't it? It was great, and they learned so much from it. So we're really, I appreciate the work that they've done, but appreciate that the support that Wood Oaks gave us as well.
Yeah.
It was really fantastic.
That's amazing. And thank you as well for helping them to do these kind of things as well, because the things goes to you as well, though. Well, I'm so proud of the students as well for doing all this amazing work.
Well, it's Mr. Allen, he's the legend.
Yeah.
Big shout to Mr. Allen, he's sat across there. He doesn't come on the microphone because we have to pay a big fee for him. To call his agent to come and join in.
But it's amazing though. Let's get if I could ask you a couple of questions then about the whole process. And so, being such a senior figure in the school, how do you find organising all these things throughout the year? Do you find it quite difficult, or is it? You must have so much work to do.
It's time consuming, but it's worth it. You've heard from about how much he enjoys and how much he's learned, and that's what you do. And being inside the classroom all day isn't for every young person. So it is really important to do something different, isn't it? It's you know, you think about the things that we've done. I know I used to really look forward to Fridays, not just because it's the weekend.
Yeah.
But you know, we really do. And the same with Mr. Allen and I have, you know, Mr. Allen's driven us around lots of different parts of the country, fairly local, kept it fairly local, but there's been some big drives as well. And yeah, we've had a really, just a variety, hasn't it, really? We've not spoken about Wood Oaks a lot, but we've had such a variety of trips and visits, and at each point they've learned something new. And a lot of the things as well, I've seen these lads really improving their communication skills. And remember the first week we went to Wood Oaks? Who did we work with? Do you remember?
Ted.
We worked with Ted. Who else? Do you remember?
Gary.
Worked with Gary, yeah. And what about all the other young people and adults?
Like a bunch of other people like Steve.
Yep.
And like a bunch of like other co-workers and like the volunteers.
That's right. Lots of the volunteers. And that was great, and it's understanding the concept of actually volunteering, isn't it? Because I'm not sure, well, I don't know, I don't speak. Do you understand the concept of volunteering and how important it is now? Yeah. And what does that do for places like Wood Oaks? And
kind of makes it like special in a way.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? Because you contribute. So the first part of the day there was all about volunteering, and I think for young people, sometimes, I think I'm looking back at me when I was 15, 16, 14, you know, age, and looking back, you kind of think, oh, I'm not doing that for nothing. I want to get paid. And actually, it's about giving up a little bit of time. And it is that feeling of, and like we said, we were doing lots of work around kind of the forest area. We were making some cuts in the trees, weren't we? Felling some of the trees, but that was to allow more light into kind of the canopies, to allow the woodland to grow, and that obviously has a benefit to wildlife and so on, and creates new species, and so all that's really important. And years to come, you know, if these lads are still in the area, and they might be walking with the families, the sons, the daughters, the partners, and in years and years to come, maybe the grandchildren as well, and they can say, actually, I was part of that. You know, I've made the area better. And that sense of pride is really important. That comes from volunteering. So you've actually contributed to something that's going to be long lasting, that has made a bit of a legacy, even though we see it as a small part of it, but you've been a small part of a big thing, haven't you? Do you think that?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always said that I should be really proud of what they've achieved. So.
Yeah. I know I am. Every time I meet you guys and I meet new students and hear new stories, I just think it's incredible that you're learning these things and doing these things from such a young age. And like you said, like later on the line, if you're in the same area, you get to see, like, I did that. You can show your family, you can show your kids, your grandkids, like I did that when I was younger. You could do the same thing as well. And you learn these life skills from such a young age, don't you? Which you can apply to other things in life. So I think I'm so proud of all of you. And thank you as well, Certi, for doing all these things. For all of these.
That's good. It's a team effort.
It's a team effort. It's amazing. And what's planned for the new year then? Anything? If you mentioned the head shop thing as well.
We've got lots of things planned for the new year. So the first thing we're going to do a treasure hunt tour of London. So it's very looking at cultural and historical tour of London. So we're going to go to lots and lots of fantastic places. Probably visit the town of London, have a walk around there, and we'll look at a little bit of naval history and maritime history and so on. And yes, there's lots to discover there. And then we are going to do a Wembley Stadium visit.
That's amazing.
He's looking at me going, oh no, sir, because unfortunately won't be with us after Christmas, will he, pal?
Oh, really?
Sorry about that. So, but he's had a good time. You've had a good trip. But yeah, we've got some adventurous activities. We've got high ropes course, and actually big shout to Saracens Foundation because they've made that happen. So we're actually doing a whole school trip.
That's amazing.
To Go 8 Black Park, and that's all of us, and that is because of the work and the support that Saracens Foundation give us, which is just it's absolutely amazing, really. So
it's amazing.
And honestly, without them, we wouldn't be able to do something like that. So it's great. It makes a massive difference, and that's part of our Courage Week and Courage term. Beg your pardon. So each and every term we have a focus on a different value. So you can imagine being the top of a high rope and having the courage to actually get on there and to challenge yourself, and that's it. And you are out of your comfort zone, but again, you learn a lot from that. So we've got that coming up, and then we are then having another 6-week block at Wood Oaks on a new project, which I've kind of mentioned a little bit about, and then that takes us through to mid-March, and then I need to start planning again. So,
there we go.
It is great though. It's absolutely brilliant.
It's brilliant, and you said about the whole coming out of your comfort zone as well, which is what a lot of people are quite scared about of doing, aren't they? In terms of just anything, whether it's like something small, something bigger, is having the kind of sometimes the courage to come out of your comfort zone and actually do something. Because a lot of people are quite scared, but for you again to help these students and for all you to actually go for it and just do it as well. I love that confidence you mentioned earlier. You just had that mindset like I'm just going to do it and go for it. And that's, a lot of people don't always have that mindset of just want to go for things, but that's brilliant. And you're having that from such a young age to try new things, have these life experiences. I think it's incredible.
Do you think you've grown in confidence? I just wonder, because I always say I kind of speak on your behalf, but I don't know.
Yeah, I seem to have gotten quite a lot of confidence doing this, and because like beforehand I wasn't that confident and stuff, but now I'm really confident doing a lot of stuff.
That's amazing.
What I have seen with is the way he talks to adults, and kind of I don't. Were you nervous the first week of doing this?
Sort of.
Yeah. What was? I kind of wonder what was holding you back a little bit. Why?
Not really sure. Probably just like meeting new people.
Yeah. But the way I've got to, kind of an advocate for him here because the way he talks to adults is absolutely brilliant. It's great, and we bump into and meet new people every trip that we do. Kind of week by week, you seem to be more confident and I don't know. It's just the way. It's just the way I've seen you, and I can put you in a situation with an adult that you don't know, and you'll just have a chat with them straight away. And I didn't see it in the first week, and I think it's really good to see.
It is really good to see.
And a lot of the times as well, some of the students, especially at the say Wood Oaks Farm, you were working with the volunteers, weren't you? And they're not left on their own, but they're left to be more independent. And then you're talking to people that you don't know, aren't you, straight away? So, but yeah, because they're working on similar projects, they're able to, share that same experience together. And that might be things like felling trees, even putting your hand in compost. Remember doing that?
Yeah.
Filling out, taking all the compost away. Lugging the wheelbarrow down the road. Remember doing that? Yeah. And helping the other volunteers with that. And at every stage, they've been asked to do something. It's done without complaint and real enthusiasm. So so that's what I've seen. And I'd say the same, not just for but for other students as well.
Yeah.
They've done a really good job. So
It's honestly incredible. Well done. Well done to all of you. And again, thank you for doing that. So, last kind of question or so. What for you? So, what's been like the kind of the highlights of your year so far in terms of what you've seen and been to in terms of like events or trips or anything?
I think, as I say, every trip is slightly different, and it's every trip has also got a different objective or educational purpose to it. So some of it is communication, some of it's teamwork. Some of it is science-based. We've done trips where we've taken students out to Bletchley Park, for example, which is, you might have heard of Alan Turing, a code breaker, who broke the German code machine Enigma.
Yeah,
that's a maths-based trip, and we do all of these different trips.
So I love that because I've always been like so intrigued with maths. I need to interrupt you this, but I've always loved maths and feel like and ensuring that whole thing was how we cracked the code and all that. I think it's just incredible. I've always loved numbers. Not like I'm kind of music based myself, but I've always loved numbers as well. So for me to appreciate and see that part of history as well, I think it's amazing. Yeah,
it is. It's an incredible thing. It's history. And it's, that him being that person and having that team around him, that changed the course of the Second World War and it's changed our history. And it's things like, it's moments like that and these great minds that have really given us the opportunities that we've got today. And, it's taking students to those places and sometimes seeing that awe and that wonder of, wow, this is amazing. So yeah, so we've done lots and lots of, and each, what I try and do as well is try and get a different focus. And we will be doing a trip that looks at music. We've done science, maths, we've done English. We're going to go, we'll go to the theatre and so on. So we look at every aspect. We've done sporting trips. We've done stadium tours. So every kind of, if you like, aspect of the curriculum, we try to take out of the classroom so that they've got that real life experience. But just back to your question. The best thing I've seen is literally seeing the students join us on that week one to where they are now, and especially just learning new skills. And we've talked about using power saws.
Oh, okay.
And, do you think that you've been given that opportunity in week one, for example?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, I think potentially not. Why? Why wouldn't I have let you do that in week one compared to week 6?
So I wasn't as prepared for it.
Yeah, so what's happened in your preparation then? What have you done to get to that stage?
Be good.
Well, be good, but more than that, what have you learned?
I don't have to use tools properly.
Yeah, that's the thing is, it's literally saying, right, we can actually, just like, carpenters that get paid decent money to do it, the lads are actually showing the same skill set as these guys that do it professionally. And it's like, we can get there, we're going to be patient, we're going to take our time, and there's going to be stages to get through before we're actually going to give them the independence to do that. And it's building that trust as well, and I don't mean I can trust them in behaviour, the behaviour's brilliant, but it's the trust in terms of the skill set. You wouldn't let someone just fly a plane. They'd have to do a variety and many, many hours leading up to be able to get to that stage. You wouldn't put a young person straight in a car and say, drive a car. There's lessons to be learned, and then there's tests to be done. But they've got to that stage, and I think that's the best thing, actually, is that, they've been given a platform where they've had lots of time, people, not me necessarily, but other people that they didn't know before, people that we mentioned at Wood Oaks or wherever it is, they've given them that trust, and they said, right, you're going to go for it, and you're going to do this. And I think that's the best thing about it, and actually giving those skills, because what a lot of the lads have talked about as well is actually, later life having an interest. I fancy doing this when I'm older, or this is important because I'm thinking of doing X, and that's really important as well. So it's not just things in school they're doing presently, it's beyond that, what they're going to do maybe as apprenticeship in sixth form, or thinking about as a job and learning those skill sets. Some of the students have talked about when they've worked at home with dad helping out with putting a fence up or whatever it may be, and they're all really important skills. So you're looking at wider things, even beyond school, so that's really important as well, and they're all useful things, aren't they? So, but yeah,
it's amazing.
A long-winded answer, but
no, I love it. I love hearing these stories and what it means to you guys as well. So thank you for sharing. If you were to do something similar in the future, what would you do differently, do you think?
Not really sure.
You're not sure?
No.
Would you do something similar with Christmas trees, or maybe other plants and trees, or maybe something different in the future? Maybe.
Probably we could do something different.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Have you had the chance to maybe think about what would you do? Maybe.
Not really. No.
Maybe you could maybe stream for charity, play Fortnite, raise money for that. Maybe that kind of thing. Maybe. Could you enjoy that, right? And because I want to ask that would be my next question actually. If you could create another product for charity, what would it be, do you think?
Probably we were also making bird boxes as well.
Bird boxes, yes. Have you had a chance to maybe look into that or make your own so far?
Yeah.
Have you? What's that like so far? Is it quite a hard process or quite easy?
It was pretty easy-ish.
Pretty easy, yeah? And I know that obviously we get quite small boxes and up to quite big boxes, right? What's the kind of similar sort of question to what we asked earlier, what's the kind of process or length it takes to make one bird box actually?
Ooh, that probably takes about 5 minutes as well for me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Was they to make designs and measurements and cutting the wood and that kind of thing, right? How do you think projects like making the wooden Christmas trees show the value of learning outside the classroom?
Pretty good.
Yeah? What lessons have you learned from this project that you can apply to then other projects or just future in general?
Probably the skills, making stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, probably like just making stuff in general.
Making stuff, right? Love that. That's brilliant. And do you think like more hands-on projects are more fun and meaningful, and then just sitting and learning things, or do you think like you need a combination of like learning what you need first and then doing it? Like, what do you think? What do you think?
Learning what I need to do first.
Yeah, so learning first, right? Because I know that for me, I'm more like a hands-on person. I like learn that way. So, how about you? Do you feel like someone telling you what to do, or like you doing your research first and then doing it, or do you prefer learning by doing hands-on? Do you think?
Yeah, I think hands-on is probably easiest.
Yeah. Do you find it a lot more fun and easier that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. And what do you think schools could do to encourage more projects like this? Do you think?
Probably like get their students to do it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So students like set up their own projects to like encourage and inspire the students in. Do you think?
Yeah.
Love that. And before we go on to like the next like last subject of the day, right, is what for both of you? What have been some of the best lessons you've learned through all of these projects? Like some of the best lessons. And I've asked you the kind of similar kind of questions that the episode so far. But what have been some of the best lessons and values that you've learned through all of these things so far?
There's a value in lesson.
Yeah.
All of what? All of.
Yeah, so all the things you've done so far in like the nuclear bunkers or the stadium tours or the farming things, what would be some of the best values and lessons that you learned so far that you can then take away and, you know, use in life in general?
Probably like the skills we learn on the farm.
Yeah? Okay, so like you mentioned the cutting of the trees earlier.
Yeah.
And anything else from that as well, like you can take away from that too?
Probably like screwing, stuff like that.
Screwing stuff, yeah? Brilliant. And maybe things like organisational skills as well, maybe, or planning things as well. That could,
Yeah.
brilliant, love that. So we're going to ask a few more questions, right, to finish off with today. And those are about, you know, the 5 British values, right? So for you guys, do you know what the 5 British values are and what they mean at all?
Not really.
Not really? Okay, so if I was to kind of go through each one, right, we can then discuss what each one might mean, what you think it might mean, and we can discuss it after, right? So the 5 are, right, democracy, mutual respect, individual liberty, tolerance, and rule of law, right? So we're going to start with democracy, right? So what do you think democracy might mean? That's the first one, right? So what do you think the word democracy might mean as just a British value and value in general?
I probably like debating over stuff.
Okay, yeah. So here you go, right? So it means we respect other people's views and allow everyone to share their opinions, right? So it's been like really open to different opinions and, yeah, like to discuss it as well. That's brilliant. And next, that kind of leads on to the next thing, right, which is mutual respect. So if I was to ask you guys what mutual respect might mean to you, what do you reckon it might mean?
Like respecting others.
Exactly. How about you?
Respect from others as well.
Yeah. So we like I say, we respect values, ideas, and beliefs of others, whilst not imposing our own on others. So smashed it. Well done. Okay, this one might be a bit harder to kind of get to grips with, but individual liberty. So what do you think that one might mean to you guys?
I probably like learning individually. And like developing skills from just yourself.
Yeah. How about you?
I don't really know on this one.
No, okay. So let's talk about that. So it's individual liberty, right? Great answers, by the way, so far. So it means we are free to make our own choices and express our individuality. We try our best to do what's right and fair. That's individual liberty, right? Love that. Next one, a couple more, right? Tolerance. So what do you think tolerance means to you guys?
I probably
Health tolerance?
Could be, yeah, could be. Take your time to have a little think about that, what you think it might mean.
probably like something like has to do with like health and like what yourself is.
Okay, so it says here, right, so tolerance, we value tolerance of those with different faith and beliefs and those without faith too. So we basically accept them based on what they're going through, right? And what the beliefs are, we respect the beliefs. If they have a belief or if they don't have a belief, we respect all, right? What do you think, and it's the last one, right? Rule of law. So what do you think rule of law means to you guys?
I probably like learning the law.
Learning the law, yep.
And it's like has to do something like with like the law.
Okay. How about yourself?
Like learn all like this the similarities of the law. That
Got it. Yeah. So, the law. So, the rule of law is the law is important. It ensures that everyone's rights are respected and that we are kept safe. So, you guys are right in that. Well done. But before we go, though, I just wanted to say how proud I am of all of you for all the amazing work you've done today. I'm really proud of you. Thank you so much for being so open and honest, and giving your insights of what you've learned so far, your values, and everything about that. And what are you doing for Christmas this year? I never got the chance to ask you. What are you doing for Christmas this year?
pardon?
What are you doing for Christmas this year?
Nothing much really.
Nothing
Just seeing
much?
family.
Seeing family, love that. And do you guys do much for New Year actually as well, or just stay home with the family or friends maybe?
I'll go out with friends for New Year.
Love that. Any plans for this year?
Do you want to go ice skating?
Want to go ice skating?
I don't want to.
You don't want to? Okay, you don't have to go then.
I end up falling over.
You know what? I can't even walk straight, so that's why I don't do ice skating. So I've done it once, I'm doing it again, right? But have you ever been ice skating before though? Like,
Have I
ever?
ever done it before? Yes.
Oh, where did you do it? Like Ali Pali or somewhere else?
In like London.
London, yeah. How did you find it? Was it quite difficult for you?
Oh, it was so hard. I
It's
fell
hard,
over
isn't
like
it?
8 times.
I don't blame you. I did the same thing.
Fell over 8 times, came off. I did not do it again.
I don't blame you. But how about yourself, though? What do you do for New Year's? Any plans this year?
Not
Or what-
really. No.
Do you like a family tradition for Christmas, for New Year's as well, or just take it as it comes? No. Fair enough. Fair enough. How's your Christmas looking this year and New Year?
Busy.
Busy.
Yeah, busy. And tiring.
is.
And tiring, yeah.
No, I bet it is. But I guess I want to say thank you all so much for today. I really appreciate your honesty, your openness to share what you've learned so far, your trips and everything. And again, the work you do is amazing. So thank you so much.
No,
and
thanks.
this is my final goodbye of the day. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Take care and goodbye. Take care.